Thank you for joining us for December's Cookbook Corner. Today we're going to be making tater breakfast casserole from the Pioneer Woman Cooks New Frontier by Ree Drummond. We are going to go ahead and get started. This is a really good recipe for the holidays. A lot of the times during the holidays, you've got people coming over. You're going to have, family at the house first thing in the morning or staying with you. And this is something that can be assembled the night before, covered and refrigerated, and then baked in the morning. So you don't have to do it all at once. We're going to go over our ingredients. We've got a medium yellow onion that we've finely sliced. We've got some pepper jack cheese that we've grated, seasoned salt. You can buy any brand of seasoned salt. Got a stick of butter. This is mostly just for buttering the pan that we're going to put the tater tots in. Got our hot breakfast sausage. We're going to use 4 eggs, so you will have some leftover eggs. Got our whole milk, and we've got our heavy whipping cream. It did call for half and half. I had some heavy whipping cream left over from a previous recipe. We've also got our frozen tater bites, our salt and our pepper, and then we've got some cayenne pepper, our sharp cheddar cheese. So our first step is we are going to cook our breakfast sausage and our onions. So you should have your skillet nice and hot. And we are going to plop that breakfast sausage down in there. Some onions down in. You want to make sure you get your sausage nice and broken up. Like most recipes, you can use alternates for your meats if you have dietary restrictions. You will probably need to season some of those meat alternatives with the use of the spicy pork. If you use the impossible meats or like a turkey sausage, those often don't come in a lot of variety of seasoned flavors. So you're most likely going to have to add some additional seasonings if you're using some of the alternative meat options. But a good breakfast casserole is always great for company, super easy, not very complicated as far as ingredients go. Our meat and onions are pretty much done cooking. You are not going to drain these because you are going to scoop it out of the skillet once you are at that step in the building the actual casserole process. So we are just going to turn our burner off and let that sit, and we are going to make our egg mixture. So you're going to take your 4 eggs. For those of you who know how to fancy crack them, don't judge me. If you have multiple bowls available to you at home, I would always recommend cracking 1 egg at a time into a bowl to check the egg first, especially if you are using farm fresh eggs, because you don't want to get a nasty egg in your already established mixture. It's happened to me before. It's not pleasant. So we are going to get those just a bit scrambled, and then we are going to add our milk, half and half, seasoned salt, and cayenne. So you are going to use 1 cup of whole milk. Got our 1 cup of whole milk, and then you're going to do a half a cup of half and half. So our half a cup of heavy cream, and we've got a 1/4 teaspoon of seasoned salt and a 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Now remember, the seasoned salt, I prefer Lowry's. You can use any brand. And then our cayenne pepper. Gonna give that a good stir. Really, you should probably be using a whisk. Ours seems to have disappeared, so we are making do with what we've got. So we've got our egg mixture, and you are going to add the cheeses. And the recipe does call for 1 red bell pepper and 1 green bell pepper. You would need to de-seed them and chop them We are skipping that step. We had some unfortunate incident with the choice of peppers for our grocery pickup. So we're just mixing the peppers. It'll still be delicious. And you know, some people are picky about peppers. So you've got, this is where you add half of your cheeses. So you're gonna do about half the bag of cheddar and about half the cup of pepper jack. We are gonna stir that again and then set it to the side. It is time to build our casserole. So take the stick of butter that you have just for greasing the pan. I like to keep my wrapper on so my fingers don't get so greasy. You are just gonna take that stick of butter and rub it across the pan. I would recommend getting up onto the edges just a little bit, that way things don't stick. All right. After you've got your pan buttered, it is a 9 by 13 pan, by the way, you are going to take your tater tots and you are going to layer them in your baking pan. Reed Drummond has it very nicely all lined out, perfectly spaced and even. I don't have time for that. I highly doubt you would either. So we are going to just make sure that our bottom is covered. Does call for a 16-ounce bag of tots. I could not find a 16-ounce, so I've got a 32-ounce, so we're probably gonna have a few more tots than it really calls for. But I like my potatoes, so I'm not upset about it. And then you take your egg mixture and you are going to, oh, I'm sorry, I'm skipping a step. You're going to take your sausage mixture first and spread this over your tater tots. Now we are going to add our egg mixture. And we are going to give this a stir just one more time. Make sure it's good and mixed. And remember, if you use the bell peppers, they will be in this mixture already. I'm gonna give it just a little bit of spreading, get that cheese a little more evenly across. But no worries, we're about to top it with the rest of the cheese. We've got the rest of our sharp cheddar. I like sharp cheddar. You feel free to use whatever cheddar you like, mild, sharp. And then we've got the rest of our pepper jack. She's not kidding when she says in this recipe it is very cheesy. All right, and from there, we are going to cover it and bake it for about 25 minutes at 350. And then you are going to uncover it and bake it for another 25 to 30 minutes, also at 350. Thank you so much for joining us for December's Cookbook Corner. Just as a reminder, we made the Tater Breakfast Casserole from the Pioneer Woman Cooks New Frontier by Reed Drummond. It's actually ready to take out of the oven. So we'll get to see our final product here. Sorry for all the oven noise. And it looks so good, guys. It smells even better. I'm gonna carefully lift that because it is very hot. Remember to like and subscribe our YouTube channel so you don't miss out on future videos. And if you haven't already, follow us on Facebook so you can keep up to date with what events we've got going on.